So just reaction. Grant wins the title, his first 10K title. How do you
So,
feel about it?
first of all, it was great. So obviously it got slow in there, and that's just the way this race goes. Plus it was a little bit warm, so I'm really glad Connor took it out, but then it got really slow, and so the slower it is, then the push, the drive has to be a little bit longer at the end. And so Grant took over with 1,000 to go. I was really happy with the 58 or 59, whatever that, penultimate lap was. I was super happy with that because it strung the field out. And then I was hoping that I'd get to see him put the hammer down. And really it was more of a strength move than it was a fast move. So we really didn't see that part of the race for him, but we'll see that eventually, We'll see it in the 5, certainly, because the race won't pan out the same way. So I'm really happy about that. And then most of all, honestly, you set up in October for a training block through the 10 in March 18th. You set up to make sure he gets the standard. And then another training block, which included a little bit different training based on, what happened there. So the training block between there and this race was a little bit different to adjust for a few things, and it worked out. So his leg speed was good here. Well, it would have been good if he needed it. And so I was very happy with that training block. Most of all, he's healthy, he's happy, and he's fast. And that's what you want leading into the Olympics, right? And so I'm really happy because you train for everything, but everything has to work. Health has to work. Rest has to work. Training has to work. You cannot get sick. Nothing can go upside down to win this race. Everything has to be good. And so I'm really happy with the way it turned out, honestly. And really, this was set up in October, or whenever we started the block. I'm not 100% certain, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah. And so, when Grant calls you up last year and says, "Hey, I want," sorry, we should just move to right here.
Sorry.
No, that's our bad. We should.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, when he calls you up and says, "I want you to coach me," is there pressure that comes with that? I know you've coached him before, but this is now you're taking the reins of the guy who's the American record holder in the 3 and the 5 and the 10, and you're going into an Olympic year.
That is true. And so a lot of people said, "Oh, this is so risky." But honestly, I know Grant, and I know his body really well, and I know what he responds to really well. So the training side of it, I personally didn't feel a whole lot of pressure. But the way it worked is, and the way I coach is, you tell me, John, when do you want to race? What races do you want to be ready for? And then I set up the training for that. And then honestly with Grant, and I don't do this with other athletes, especially young ones, with Grant, we sit down 2 months ago. Well, we do it in blocks, but a block before the 10. We sit down and we go through and we talk about, honestly, every workout and what the expectation is. What do you want out of this workout? And honestly, every aggressive session matters. You don't get to say, it's Monday, let's just do this. No, that doesn't work. So everything was choreographed to get him to where he was today. And I'm super happy about how that went. So for me, no, I was good. I was good with it, but I know everybody was nervous about it, but I wasn't nervous about it at all. And I'm really thankful that he gave me the opportunity to work with him because he's a great athlete, but it doesn't bother me. It's like work to me, and it's working on his body to make him the best Grant Fisher there is. And we train specifically for that body. So, and he's coming right now. So now you can ask him those questions.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk to him,
Yeah. I mean, qualitatively, high level, how has his training changed from his Bowerman days?
Well, how much detail do you want? So
I'm going to call you for that. But just
yes, so the bottom line is I train with energy levels and lactate levels, and we train based on percentages of how much hard running to do. I know, sorry, G. Yeah, so we train based on how much energy level we want to use and how much volume he does. He doesn't run a ton of volume. He doesn't run the triple digits the way a lot of guys do.
How much does he do?
Nico, sorry.
He runs about 90 miles a week. And I hate to say that because it's different. You do that your mileage is different than his mileage is different than Grant's mileage, and you do that based on what the body can absorb. And, you know, Nico might absorb more mileage, or he might absorb less. I don't know. But the bottom line is that is set up for the how much can he take and riding that line between not enough and too much. And it's a close line. So.
And I wanted to ask you about the race in LA, because that was basically a preview of the Olympic 10K final. A lot of those guys are going to be in Paris, which is what Grant just qualified for. How did you feel it went for Grant, and what were your takeaways from that race?
So I wasn't happy because, you know, we planned for certain things to happen and they didn't happen there. And so from that, then you look at the deficits and you say, we need to train this differently, and we need to train this strategically differently. Position-wise, he wasn't good at the end of that race, and so I wanted to work on the rail. And so we worked on that a little bit, the positioning, and so that changed in the 1500 in New York. If you go back and look at that race and go, strategically, how did that go? Well, strategically, that was a different event than the race in LA. And so we want that. We want development. And so for me, even though they ran slowly in New York, it was a much better race strategically for Grant. But it was too slow. It was just too slow.
But you don't think the positioning, or sorry, I got to go grab one.
Oh, you got to go. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, though.
No, it's no problem.
Appreciate the time,
Yes,
Mike.
no problem.